Today I decided to bring you guys with me to my local tack store. I'm gonna go over some of my favorite grooming products and the things I like to keep for my horses, and I thought it would be fun if I brought you guys along and show you guys how I go about picking my grooming products. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's head on over to the tack store. Hi girl. Here you go. Good girl. Is that yummy? Huh? What are your favorite grooming products, huh? How about you, Brandy girl? Good girl. Gucci, you want more? Alright, bye guys. I'll see you later. And now the mama girl. Here you go. Yummy. Okay, bye guys. I'll see you later. Alright guys, we are here. First going to my shirt. What do you think? What do you think? I'm repping. Let's head on inside and go to the grooming section. Alright guys, I almost knocked this down. Sorry. So I'm in the grooming section, as you can see, and I don't know why. Every time I walk into a tack store, I always gravitate toward this area. Even though I don't need any grooming products, it just calls my name. Like, look at these colors. Seriously, the grooming section is like my favorite section. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk you guys through like my process when picking things and why I like certain things. So yeah. Let's get started. I'm gonna go in order, you know, like what I start with, what I finish with. Alright you guys, so what I usually start with is a curry comb, and I have a bunch of different kinds at home. There's different styles that I like to use, but let me just go ahead and show you. Alright, so as you can see, there's a bunch of different styles of curry combs. My favorite is actually this one. You guys know I have like a purple one at home, and I've talked about this so much. Well, if you watch my channel, then you know how much I talk about this, but this is actually my favorite kind of curry comb. But there are a bunch of different styles. Like this one, this is a triple blade curry. They also have this one right here, which is a round curry. What is this called? Yeah, a round curry. This one, which is very common as well, this is called a rubber curry. They also have this one, which is kind of similar to my favorite one, but you can actually attach a hose to it, which I think is so cool, where you can use it to scrub and wash your horse. But personally, as you guys know, I would go for something like this. Alright, next up is the brush, and I actually struggled a lot with this when I first started riding horses because I didn't understand the difference. There's so many different kinds of brushes, and they all feel different. Like, they have different intensities, like different levels of stiffness. Is that how you say it? I don't know. But I truly struggled with that. I wasn't sure like what the difference was and what each one was used for. Look at the selection. We're gonna go over it. So to keep it simple, like what I like to do is just have a hard brush to brush off the dirt that I just curried off, and then a soft brush to finish it off. And I never used to use the finishing brush. It's called the finishing brush, the ones that are softer, because I didn't get it. I didn't think I needed it, and I don't think you necessarily do, but if you want that extra shine, if you want to get that dirt that kind of lays on top after you're done brushing, that's what you would use a finishing brush for. Alright, so this is an example of a harder brush that I would use right after currying all the dirt off of my horse. As you can see, it's a lot stiffer than something like this. that's softer and fluffier, which is used to brush off that extra dirt that just lays on top to make them shiny. If you want that extra shine, it's not really necessary. I never used to do it. I only do it when I'm filming a video for you guys or when I'm going to a show or something. Alright, next up is the mane and tail brush or comb. As you can see, there are so many options, and I usually like to go for the brush type of brush. You guys know what I mean. Instead of a comb like this. If I were to get a comb, I like the ones that have like separate. I actually use this one for my hair. I think I have one that just looks exactly like this. But like I said, I like to go for something like this. I just like to have fun with it. There's not really anything specific that I look for, as long as it's a brush type, like a paddle brush or something like this. I don't like to use combs. I just find that it's a little bit harder for me to brush. But yeah. So if your horse has a long mane, or they tend to stay outside like mine do, knots are a huge problem. So a big part of my grooming routine is to use a detangler, and as you guys know, my favorite is the Cowboy Magic. This stuff is literally magic, but there are a bunch of different kinds. You can pick a sprayable one, a natural one, just honestly whatever your preference is. As you can see, there is a lot to choose from. But again, my favorite is something like this, like the Cowboy Magic. So now that I've talked about the curry comb, the brush, the mane and tail brush, and the detangler, we're going to move on to the hoof pick. Now, picking your horse's hooves is something super important for their health. There are two standard kinds of hoof picks. So there's the kind that is just the pick and the one that comes with a brush. My favorite is the one with the brush, but I just noticed that they actually came out with a new one. I've never seen this before. You guys have probably seen this already, but look at this. It's a 3-in-1. It has the pick on one side, the brush, and this little paddle thing right in the middle, which is perfect for scraping off that dirt that just lays on top, and then you brush the rest off. So like I said, again, I prefer the kinds with the brush and the pick instead of something like this that's just the pick. Alright, next up is the face brush. This is what you're gonna use to kind of get that dirt off of their face, and you normally don't want to use the same one you would use for their body just because it's so stiff and they have sensitive faces. Tack stores usually sell stuff like this that's a lot softer and fluffier to brush off the dirt on their face without hurting those sensitive areas. Alright. Now the last part of my grooming process is to use fly spray. As you guys know, I live in Florida and the flies here are insane. Let's go ahead and find the fly spray. It might be over. Fly spray. Here we are. I try to go for natural fly sprays, but whatever I can find in the moment is fine and works for me. As you can see, there are so many different options for fly spray. It just depends on your preference. But yeah, fly spray is a must. Another thing is hoof oil, but I think you should kind of discuss this with your farrier depending on what your horse's hooves look like. But again, when it comes to hoof oil, there are so many different kinds of options. I actually have this one. I just started using it, so I can't tell you guys how good it is, but so far I'm liking it. But again, it just comes down to your preference. There's a lot of different options. Let me know what your favorite is down below. Now, another important thing that you should keep in your grooming kit is a sweat scraper, and there's two different kinds that I usually see. There's this style and this style. You guys can see the difference. I honestly thought that this was my favorite, and then I switched to this, but honestly now I don't have a preference. They both work fine and I like them both equally, but this is not really something you use when you're grooming your horse. This is more of like when you're done riding and you want to scrape off the sweat, or after you give him a bath, or you rinse him off after a ride. Alright you guys, that is it. I'm sorry about this funky lighting that's going on over here. Hopefully it's not too annoying, but that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed coming along and learning about some of my grooming favorites. If you want to see what my grooming routine is like, just leave me a comment down below letting me know. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up.